Hello, everyone. I trust you're having a wonderful day so far. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this exclusive fortnightly session titled Fire Safety 101 Essential Tips for Students. This workshop is specifically curated for the students from grades 3rd to 12th. I am Aniket Arora, your moderator for today's session, and I am honored to guide you through this insightful and critical discussion. Before we dive into the session, I would like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to each of you for your participation. Your engagement truly enhances the quality of this gathering, making it a valuable experience for all of us. Today, we are privileged to have with us today Mr. Rishikesh Chormare, Senior Scientist and Group Member in the Process Design and Engineering Division at the Central Salt and Marine Chemical Research Institute, CSIR CSM CRI, in Bhavnagar, Gujarat. Mr. Chormare's extensive research, including his work on the use of biochar for removing pollutants from soils and solutions, exemplifies his expertise. One of his notable research publications is titled Conversion of Solid Waste and Natural Biomass for Deciphering the Valorization in Biochar in Pollution Abatement, a review on the thermochemical processes. In today's session, Mr. Chormare will lead us through Fire Safety 101 Essential Tips for Students, where he will impart crucial knowledge on fire safety, an important aspect of everyday life. This workshop aims to equip you with a deeper understanding of fire safety concepts, preparing you all not only for immediate application, but also to contribute meaningfully to the world of science and technology in future. Let us now embark on this enlightening journey. I encourage you all to ask questions and share your insights throughout the session. Your contributions will add immense value to the discussion and enrich the learning experience for everyone involved. So let's get started on this journey. For those of you new to our platform, I would like to mention that CAMP, the Knowledge and Awareness Mapping Platform, is not just an initiative. It's a commitment to bridging the gap between education and practical application. Our mission is to cultivate a scientific mindset among students while nurturing their hidden talents. I would like to mention that apart from these online knowledge sharing sessions, CAMP also organizes various quiz competition as well as scientific excursions for students. The excursions provide the students with unique opportunity to delve into the world of science, technology, and innovation. They are aimed to instill a passion for scientific exploration and discovery within the students. So don't miss out on the opportunity to visit various prestigious labs and organizations like the CSIR, ISRO, DRDO, and many others. If you would also like to participate in such excursions and get a chance to explore, discover, and engage with various scientific disciplines in real-world setting at various eminent CSIR laboratories or research organizations in India, then do check out the link in the chat box to learn more about how you can participate. For any support, you can even get in touch with our team through the given helpline number in the chat box. For further information and resources, please visit our website or contact us at any given number. Stay connected for more such enlightening sessions. Well, without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Rishikesh to begin our session. I would really like to, encourage all of you to actively participate, ask questions, and share your thoughts during the session. Your engagement, like I said, is crucial in making this a fruitful and dynamic discussion. So please, Mr. Rishikesh, can we have you?
Yeah, sure. And I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible, but you're not visible. Is your camera turned on?
Yeah, my camera is on.
Yeah, I think you're using two videos, or let me see. We cannot see you there.
Just give a minute.
Sure, sure, sure.
Hello.
Yes, sir. I can hear you, but your screen,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
we can see you now.
Yeah. So a very good afternoon, good evening to all of you, and I'm very thankful to Mr. Ankit and along with the camp to just give an opportunity to just say a few words to you and share our knowledge of fire and safety to amongst all the students who is going to listen me for about 1.5 hours from right now. And I hope this session is going to be very helpful for all the students which are just joining online. Okay, so be with me. And as Ankit is told to you, okay, okay, if you are having any doubt, you can ask me anytime. I'll try to satisfy you with my level best. Okay, so shall we start with?
Sure.
So just before going to start my presentation, let me just give a brief introduction about my organization. Okay, so my slides are visible to you.
Yes, they are visible.
Yeah, fine. So basically, we are just under the umbrella of CSIR, that is Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, and this organization having a very dynamic network of around near 37 nationalized laboratories, in which 39 are outreach centers and one innovative complex in Pan India. Okay, our president is Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. Our Vice President is Honorable and Science and Technology Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh, and our Director General CSIR and Secretary DSIR Dr. Mrs. Sheikh Kailash Sharwali. And with my organization, we are having near about 88 scientific staff, along with 79 is technical staff, others are 44, and research scholars are 204, 206. Okay, so basically the journey of CSIR is start with the huge demand of salt between 1947 to 48, and afterwards in 1948 the government at that time decided to constitute a committee with Sri Narewala in 1948, and in the supervision of Sri C.C. Desai, and the minimum Secretary of Mines and Works produced in supply in 1951. They have started for the demand to they started how they are going to just fulfill the demand of the salt. So in uh, Saurashtra, near about 125 acres of area has been given by the government to us, and this institute is inaugurated on the 10th of April 1954. Okay, and we are the self-reliance in 1970 production in since uh, 2000s. India become the third largest salt production country in 2013, and we are just having an experience of 69 years, and we are just serving from last 69 years to build a nation. Okay, basically our mission is based on three major pillars. There's our marine products and processes, in which the salt, water, marine chemicals, and marine elements are included. Marine biology, in which marine aquaculture, salt tolerance plant, marine biotechnology, marine microbes, marine bioactive processes, and others are considered under this. And we are also focused on the marine environment, in which the marine pollution, we are just exploring the things. Microplastic, nowadays that the microplastics have become more headache to for the environment, so we are also just looking forward how to we can just overcome the situation. Marine ecology and monitoring of impact assessment. In our institute, we are having various departments, in which our major departments are analytical and environment science division and centralized instrument facility, in which you will find lots of instruments which are related to the scientific work, and the analysis we are just performing in-house. We are having a salt and marine chemicals. This department is looking after all the salt and marine chemicals related experiments, research, and how to just how to just enhance the productivity of salt. We are just looking after all the things. Inorganic material and catalysis, we are also dealing with the inorganic solvents, chemicals, to just give an social impact with the respect of the chemicals. Natural products and green chemistry, this department is looking after the green chemistry and the natural products. Applied phycology and biotechnology, basically this is basically focused on the marine algae, plantomics, membrane science and separate technology. This is also given impact how we are going to use the how to utilize the water, or we can just purify the water with the help of these membranes. So we are having a separated division in which we are having electro membrane division as well, and the process and design engineering, in which whatsoever the process we are designing, how to enhance that, how to just go further, how to just upgrade that thing. So this division is looking after that thing. If you're talking about the board overview of the current research, so we are having chemical research and biological research, and we over here there are so many fields in which we are just giving our steps forward in the areas. The main area experts is saline agriculture, salt and salt works, specialty chemicals, waste to wealth, membrane science and separation, civet and downstream products, marine environmental studies, marine aeronautic chemicals. We are also having the ACSIR, that is Academy of Scientific and Innovative Research, in which if someone wants to do their PhD, so they can join as a student and they can just perform their PhD over here as a student. And we are having two branches, PhD in science and PhD in engineering. So in 2022-23, we are having almost 153 numbers of students, and we are also running the UG and PG students, and for minimum duration for these students are 2 months. For if someone wants to come for the training or the internship or dissertation, so they can also join. So this is all about my institute in which I am working. So we start with my presentation, that is Fire Safety 101 Essential Tips for Students. Okay, just before starting the things, can I ask you some questions?
I just would like to mention that all the students, they're on mute.
Okay,
So in case if we can ask them to raise their hands and we can unmute them.
fine. So, Aniket, my presentation is seen now.
Yes, yes, it's visible. We can see it.
Okay, it's on a full screen, or is a
More or less full screen, because I can actually see the slides at the Orient view at the end and the title at the top.
fine. Okay, right now,
The next page, what is fire? Yes.
fine. Okay, fine. So, what is basically the fire safety? Nowadays, you know that the fire and safety topic is the very, just taking very lightly all over that pan India, might be in the world also. Okay, so this is not a type of thing. Okay, you are just keeping this thing into mind and you are just working. This become your habit. Okay, हाँ ठीक है, हम लोग है कर लेंगे, कुछ होगा तो देख लेंगे. So this is not that thing. From homes to workplace, you have to understand what are the causes, how to prevent, how to prepare for the any incidents. It may be related to the fire, it may be related to the your safety. Okay, so this presentation I'm going to give you a very fundamental type of thing to you with respect to the fire. Okay, and we will just discuss how you can create or prevent yourself from any fire incident. Okay, so I think this fundamental knowledge is very useful not only to you but for your others or maybe your surrounding people, and not only you can protect yourself but others as well. So when we are talking about the fire safety, the first key factor is the prevention. Okay, so by identifying the common causes of fire, such as faulty wiring, cooking accidents, or careless handling of flammable materials, we can take proactive measures to mitigate the risk. Okay, from installing the smoke detection system, from installing the fire extinguishers, installation of fire hydrant system. These are the very basic things, but which are very useful in a incident, in case of any incident. Okay, so the importance why we are just talking on this thing, just because the importance of fire safety is it have the tendency of potential of losses, including the property damage, damage to injuries, property damage. They can cause the injuries. Even we can loss of life. Okay, we can lose our life. So that's why it's essential to prioritize the fire safety in all respect of our lives. Whether we are working at home, we are working at office, or we are in public places. If you are able or you can understand the fire safety properly, the equipment, how to operate the equipment in a proper manner, definitely you are going to protect yourself and others as well. Okay, so what is fire basically? The fire is a rapid oxidation of a material in the chemical process of combustion, releasing heat, light, and various reactive products. Okay, it means that fire is a chemical reaction. It's a sort of a reaction in which any combustible materials react with the oxygen present in the atmosphere and give light and heat. Okay, this phenomenon is known as the combustion, and in which we get the two sources of energy, that is light and the heat. There are so many reactions which involve the oxidation. Okay, but they are very slow, so we are not going to consider that slow oxidative processes under this definition. So we have to talk about the rapid oxidation always. Okay, suppose there is a fire. So how you are going to see that the fire is there? Just because the flame is the visible portion of fire, and after knowing that, okay, we see the flame and we can say that okay, something is on fire, or we can say that the flame is a visible portion of fire and consists of glowing hot gases. It hot enough, the gases may become ionized to produce plasma. But this stage goes on the further one when the fire is out of control and the heat is so much that the gases converts into the plasma. Okay. Depend and fire is also depends on the substance alight and the impurity oxide, the material, the consistencies of the material and the color of the flame you can see in a different colors. For example, if you are going to just burn a simple paper, you will always find a yellowish or maybe some bright yellow color of flame. But you are going to just burn a magazine with a very colorful page, you will see a very different colors in the paper, just because the ink which is involved to produce that color is used to print that page, and that when comes into contact with the fire, the flame gives that colors. Okay, so this is about the flame. So to more understand of a fire, simply we have to understand the fire triangle. So what is fire triangle basically? The fire triangle is a combination of heat, fuel, and oxygen. You are just seeing in the right corner of this presentation. This is a fire triangle, okay, in which the oxygen, heat, and the fuel is required. The presence of fuel is present for the combustion, the presence of oxygen which supports for the combustion, and the presence of heat that is contain a minimum temperature to ignite that thing. Okay, but when the fire triangles mix, there is another parameter which is more important, that is the chemical reaction or the ignition. Okay, when the three elements or these fire triangles come in contact with each other, the three elements come into contact with each other, oxygen, heat, and fuel, then the fire will occur. But It will occur when the chemical reaction is there or the ignition is there. For example, you are sitting in your you know room or maybe in your home. So the all the three elements are presently meeting with each other, but there is no fire just because there is no chemical reaction or any ignition is taking place. Okay, and this when the the fourth phase is come in contact with these three fire triangles, then this is known as the fire tetrahedron. Okay, but we have to think how we are going to extinguish this fire. It's a very simple one. Okay, if you have to extinguish this fire, simply take away any of the face of this fire triangle, the fire will extinguish. For example, if you are going to take away the oxygen, the fire will extinguish. I think you have did some practical in your class. You have just taken a one candle and you just pour a glass of water, glass upside down, and you will see if the flame is continuing for a few seconds and afterwards is extinguished. It means that the oxygen is essential for burning. So in that way you can extinguish the fire. Second, the heat. When the fire is occurred, always we are using the water to extinguish that fire. By doing this, we are just cooling down the thing and we are just cut off the heat of that material. Third thing, the fuel. Just take away the fuel. Do not provide the fuel to the fire. The fire will automatically extinguish. Okay, the fire will extinguish. Now, the classification of fire. This is the most important part to understand any fire for the extinguishment purpose. Just because when you know the classification of fire, you can easily understand the class. Okay, this class belongs to which category or the fire is belongs to which class and how you are going to extinguish. According to the BIS, that is Bureau of Indian Standard, the fire is classified into four classes, that is class A, class B, class C, and the class D. Okay, class A basically known as the general fire, ordinary fire, solid fire. For example, the wood, paper, plastic, cloth, etc. are considered under this class. Okay, class B, flammable liquids, all the petroleum products, oil paint, solvents, and somewhat chemicals are considered under this class. Class C, as per the BIS, we are having the two classes, that is the electrical and the second one is the flammable one. Okay, flammable gases. So these two are involved in the class C. For the class D, we are having combustible metals like sodium, white phosphorus, etc. But if you go abroad or maybe away from India in any other country, so you will find there are two more classes you will find over there. That is class E and class K. So according to that, class A remains the same. That is ordinary fire or solid fire. That is known as class A. Class B remains the same. That is flammable liquids. Over there, class C stands for the gaseous or flammable fire. Class D remains the same. Class E stands for the electrical fire. They have separated Class E as well as the Class K, that is kitchen fire. Why they separated the Class K? Because we in kitchen, all types of fire in except the combustible metals, all the classes or the material you can find in your kitchen. So that's why they dedicated Class K over in their countries. But in our country, as per the BIS, we are having the four classes, that is class A, class B, class C, and class D. And someone asks you the types of or classification of fire, always go with the ABCD. Okay, don't go with the ordinary fire, flammable liquids, or gaseous fire. Not this is not the appropriate one. Always go with class A, class B, class C, and class D. Okay, so basically, what happened in India, the common causes of fires are basically uh, just because of 90% you will find due to the electrical faults. You can some percentage goes to the cooking accidents, and some percentage goes to the careless handling of flammable materials. Okay, electrical issues such as overloading of circuits, okay, by which the sparks can produce, and that spark have tendency to adhere with some material, the flammable or combustible material, and starts the fire or ignite the material and the fire occurs. Then in cooking, we are having the oil, we are having the gas. Okay, sometimes you know we are just cooking something, or maybe someone is cooking something, and all of a sudden the gas leak is there, or the electrical short circuit is there, and it catches the fire. So always identify what the class is, and according to that you have to act on it. Okay, basically we are having two type of firefighting protection. First one is your active fire protection, and another one is your passive fire protection. Active fire protection and the passive fire protection, you can say, a main pillars of any firefighting protection. Okay, these two elements covers a small portion of the protection service you should have all the time. So what is active fire fighting equipment or protection? Active fire protection means that it's using a fire extinguishers or automatically fire sprinkler system or any hardened system which are actively activated all the time, okay, and it required manual operation or the automatic operation. Okay, for example, fire detection system. If you take a fire detection system after picking a signal from any fire source or maybe the smoke, so it will trigger a response and alert the departments or the concerned department, and it's activate the sprinklers system, or maybe the it is assigned to activate numbers of system, like to activate the sprinkler system, to close the fire doors, or maybe it starts sounding, and so on. So these are the active fire protection. Working fire alarm system and the fire suppression system can generally increase your chances of suppression of fire or even extinguishing it because it causes harm. So active firefighting, it means the equipments which are actively charged, or you can actively operate at any point of time. Passive firefighting equipment, it means that the fundamental components which are used to protect from the fire in its design, or it's when you are just constructing something. So it will also already considered under this structure or the design. Like for example, the walls. The walls are act as a passive fire protection. Okay, by using the fire walls or the fire resistant walls and floors, the passive fire protection gives people time to escape from a building that has a fire. For example, damper. Damper, it means if something is happened, it automatically close the door, that is called the damper. Okay, so it's in something has happened and the damper got the signal, and it starts to close the door and separate the fire and the smoke through a building ducts and the fire doors which compartmentalize the fire. By doing this, what happened? The fire will just adhere at a particular area, and the rest of the area will be away, is free from the fire and can easily be used for rescue someone or to for the evacuation purposes. By fireproofing successfully, compartmentalization fire and keep damage to a minimum by eliminating the possible fuel a fire could use to separate or ignite with in the first place. A small fire or a fire restricted to a small area gives you a greater chance of putting it out, avoiding cost and avoiding injuries. So it's been required the both thing. Yes, we required the both thing. Why we required the both thing? Just because it gives a better protection towards that fire. Okay, the active and the passive fundamentally different from their behavior, but when we equip together, they give a better possibility or better performance or for better protection for the to life as well as the structure. Okay. It also helps to protect or to prevent a fire from spreading or resist the initial ignition. Okay, they work together by altering the people inside the building of a fire and safely containing the fire so that people may evacuate and try to suppress the fire. Now, fire extinguishers. Fire extinguishers is a device used to put out the fire of limited size. Basically, the fire extinguishers are also known as the first aid to fire. It means a small or the moderate fire can be easily extinguished by means of fire extinguishers. Okay. With this help of quickly and effectively react to the beginning of an instant fire have prevented countless incidents from developing into a large-scale disaster. Okay, if you are quite enough to use the fire extinguisher in a proper way at a proper time, you can easily extinguish any fire and avoid further chances of large scale disasters. Okay, or maybe you are not allowing to fire to spread at a higher level. Okay, as I told you, the fire extinguishers are first aid to fire. Basically, these are based on two, or you can say they are just available in the market in the two variant. First one is your cartridge type, and second one is your stored pressure. But now in a days, 90% of organization or in a market, you will find the stored pressure as well, just because it's very easy to use. You can easily operate. The operation is very very easy, that you can easily operate the fire extinguisher and extinguish the fire. Okay, the cartridge type, it means it required external pressure to activate and to act on the fire. Okay, there is a small cylinder inside that main cylinder. Okay, it's a cartridge. It's known as the cartridge, and it's having the plunger. Plunger, it means that a mechanical device which is used to break the seal of that cartridge. Okay, when you hit it, you will find it will have a nail. That nail puncture the rupture discs of the cartridge, and the pressure releases and pressurize the fire extinguisher, which allow the agent which is inside the fire extinguisher allow to come out and to extinguish the fire. Okay, this is the operation of cartridge type. But when you are going to use the foam type, simply you have to raise the valve and take the advantage of the stored pressure. It means that stored pressure, it means by virtue of name, you are understanding that stored pressure. It means that the pressure is stored inside that cylinder. The already pressure is stored inside the cylinder. You don't have to create a pressure by hitting or something. No, nothing. The pressure is already inside the cylinder. Simply you have to control the valve and the agent will be come out. Based on this, we are having based on this we are having four types of fire extinguisher available in the market. First one is your water type, second one is your foam type, third one is your dry chemical powder, and the fourth one is your carbon dioxide type. But there is another one that is known as the special type, which is meant for class B only. Okay. So as you see, as I told you, we are having the two categories, cartridge type and the stored pressure type. We are having different types of fire extinguishers, water type, mechanical foam type, carbon dioxide type, dry chemical type, and special type. Okay, now how to use the fire extinguisher? It's a very simple thing. When you are using the stored fire extinguisher, stored pressure type fire extinguisher, simply you have to remember a one word, that is pass. That is pass, P-A-S-S. Pass, it means pull the pin. There is a safety pin on the mouth of the valve. You have to pull it aim at the base of the fire. It means that the hose which is provided, with the mouth of the wall, you have to hold from your hand. If you are a right hander, then you have to hold it from your left hand, and you have to operate the wall from your right hand. Just because your right hand is quite capable to withstand the weight for a longer time. Okay, so that's why, if vice versa, if you are a left hander, you have to hold the hose from your right hand and you have to operate the wall from your left hand. Okay, now when you just pull the pin, aim at the base of the fire, squeeze the handle, come wall. It means the handle or wall is provided on the top of the cylinder. You have to press it very hard and throughout the way. Okay, so what will happen? The agent will be released and it will come out with the help of this hose. Okay, and you have to aim at the base so you can easily and effectively extinguish the fire and swap side to side. Why you require to swapping side to side? Just because by swapping you can easily cover the maximum area in a lesser time. Okay, that is the swapping motion. Just because the fire extinguishers are meant to use, and if you are continuously using, it will be empty within a span of 1.5 minutes. So your action must be fast and you are having a very lesser time to extinguish the fire. So that's why the swapping motion is required to cover the maximum area in a very given limited time. Okay, so this is the past. You can, by remembering this word, you can easily use the fire extinguisher. But suppose you forgot how to use the fire extinguisher. Simply, there is a pictograph on the fire extinguisher. A picture is given on or stick on every fire extinguisher, and there are 5 things are common on that: the type of fire extinguisher, name of the fire extinguisher, the working pressure, how to operate the fire extinguisher, which is given in the sentence form and as well in the picture form. And the last one is the manufacturing details. Okay, and recommended fire as well. So you can see over there. So you will find, so for example, is a stored pressure one. So you will find it will return that stored pressure, dry chemical powder, B and C. Okay, B, C is also written on that. It means that this fire extinguisher is useful to able to extinguish the B class and the C class of fire. Okay, so always remember, whenever you are going to use the fire extinguisher, first of all, go through that pictograph so you can understand which type of fire extinguisher is and how you are going to use it. Okay, so this is, there is a, I'm just showing you a very small video how to use on it's an animated one, so it will give an idea how you are going to use a fire extinguisher. So I hope this video is giving and all the clear the things how you are going to operate the fire extinguishers. Okay, but the thing is that there is a limitations of using of fire extinguishers. You are not able to use all type of fire extinguishers on all the classes. So this table shows that if you are going to use a water type, you always have to use on class A, not for class B, not for class C, not for class D, just because it's having its limitation. Suppose you are going to use a water type on class B, what will happen? It's a liquid type of fire. It's a flammable liquids are there. So what will happen due to that density difference? The water will be settle down on the bottom, and it will allow material to spread all over, and the fire will spread. For the class C, it's a contain electrical as well as the flammable gases. So what will happen? The water is a good conductor of electricity. The electrocution chances will be there. So it is not recommended to use on class C. As well as for class D, just because it's having a combustible metals, that metals can be reactive to the water. So that's why it's not recommended to use on class D. Mechanical foam, it means that it's a special type of foams are available in the market for the fire extinguishment extinguishing purposes. So basically, AFFF is used in the most of the cases, and AFFF is used stands for aqueous film forming foam, which having the tendency to withstand at a high temperature. So you can use on class A, you can use on class B, but again not for class C and D, just because it's contain 90% of water and 10% of foam. Although you are having a question, okay, we are not using water type on class B, but mechanical foam contain 90% of water, and again we are using on the class B. So again, there is a density difference. Okay, the foam is lighter than the flammable liquid, so it will float on the surface of the liquid, and if the liquid spreads, it's also spread along with that liquid, and it's helped to extinguish the fire. Okay, now the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is basically used for class B, C, but for advanced firefighting, we are when you are just using the carbon dioxide in a confined area, or maybe the inside the building or in a room, definitely you are going to use on class A and class B, but it's having a limitations. Okay, you have to follow the thumb rules. I'll after in upcoming presentation slides, I'll show you what the thumb rules you have to follow when you are just dealing with the firefighting, or maybe when you are dealing with some emergency procedures. Okay, so carbon dioxide, it's having a 99.9% of pure carbon dioxide. So it will allow to use on B and C class, just because the it's having it's carbon dioxide heavy lightly heavier than the air, so it will be settle on the surface of that material, and afterwards it's merged in the atmosphere, and this the frictions of second, or maybe that time duration, it's quite enough to create a barrier between the oxygen and the burning material to cut off that fire. Okay, so that's why it's used on class B. For class C, okay, fine. It's a uh, it's a gas. Basically, it's a non-flammable gas, so it will be easily extinguish the fire of electricity without giving any residues. Okay, that's why we can use on class C. Dry chemical powder, it's a universal one. Okay, you can use on class A, class B, class C, but not for class D, just because the dry chemical powder contain sodium bicarbonate and monoammonium phosphate as a primary ingredient. They are environment friendly, they are human friendly, but they are not recommended to use directly on the human body, but you can use on class A, class B, and class C. What exactly the the dry chemical powder type of fire extinguisher is doing? It's create a barrier between the oxygen and the burning material. Okay. The special type, basically the special type is mean for the special class, that is class D. Okay. So it will be useful for the class D, and it also depends on which type of class D material you are using, or for what material you are required. This is special type. According to your requirement, the manufacturer is going to give the special type of fire extinguishers to you. Okay, now fire hydrant system. Another equipment which is mainly or used for a fire extinguisher is the fire hydrant system. Fire hydrant system consists of of a pipe network, you can say, connected directly to the water supply, meant to provide water to each and every hydrant outlet, and it provide intends to provide the water to the fireman to fight a fire. Fire hydrant system. It means that fire hydrant it means hydra. Matlab, in science, water is also known as the hydro. Okay, so at a particular end, you require the water with the help of some piping network that is known as the fire hydrant system. Okay, the water is discharged into the fire engine form, which is then pumped and sprayed over the fire. It's required a particular system. There are so many components. In upcoming presentation, you are going to see which type of component is required for the fire hydrant system. So it's required different types of components to for to making a complete system. Under normal circumstances, a fire hydrant system is pressurized with water, which is ready to emergency use. When a hydrant valve is open, the system experiences a drop in the water pressure, and that drop pressure detected by an mechanical device or maybe a sensor, which is turned or starts the booster pump first, and then it's if the increase if the pressure is continuously increasing, then if the sensors allow to use or to start the main pump to give the appropriate or the required pressure to the system to set off the fire. Okay, so basically the fire hydrant system are two types, internal and the external, wet and the dry. Okay, basically there are two types of internal, having the wet and dry also, and basically it's having the two major parts, that is the types, not part, sorry, it's a types, external and internal. It is very simple to understand. The fire hydrant system which is outside the building, okay, which is outside the building or it covers the periphery of the building, it's known as the external fire hydrant system. And the hydrant system which is installed to give the protection or for firefighting inside the building is known as the internal fire hydrant system. It also consists of wet and dry options. Wet and dry option, it means in our India we are not having such a cold condition. Okay, so that's why we kept the system in a wet condition always. But in colder countries like USA or Canada, where the ice is there, the snowfall is there. So in that condition, what will happen? They kept their system in a dry condition. Why they kept the dry condition? If they are going to use the wet fire hydrant system, what will happen? The system will not work just because the water is frozen inside the pipe, and it will not work whenever it's required. So they keep the system dry. They are having a different type of components which are installed in that system, and whenever they require to operate the system in emergency conditions, so first of all they release the air and the water will flow throughout the network, and they can use the or extinguish the fire. Okay, so basically the main components of the any fire hydrant systems are water supply and storage facility. Water supply and storage facility, it means water tank, pipe network and the walls, fire brigade booster inlet, fire pump set, hydrant and landing walls, fire head hose reel, and the flat fire pump. So this is the hose box. Okay, the box in you are saying it's a known as the fire hose box, in which you are saying the hoses. So basically nowadays 15 meters length of two hoses are used, so you can go up to the 30 meters. This is known as the fire hydrant valve, okay, or main valve. This is the fire brigade connection. Whenever you require to connect a fire brigade vehicle to provide the water, so you can connect with it. This is the hose reel. You can also use the hose reel for the firefighting purpose. It's very simple to use. Only the valve is over there. You have to operate the valve, and you can get the water at your end. A single person can also use this fire hose But when you are going to use the fire, hydrant main points, then you required a team, maybe 2 to 3 persons required to operate this fire extinguisher, just because the nozzle which is basically used for a firefighting purpose is not having any control system on it. So you have to control the pressure from the valve itself. Okay, so how to operate the fire extinguishers? First of all, it's a very simple steps there. If it is in automation, there is nothing to worry at all. Simply you have to open the valve. As I told you in earlier slides, when the water pressure drops, automatically it senses the drop pressure drop and it starts the engine or maybe the pump automatically. But if it is in the manual one, then you have to, first of all, you have to rush to the pump house. You have to activate the pump, then you will get the desired pressure for the firefighting. Okay, for this, to for the easy understanding, again I am just showing you a very a small 1 minute of animated video which will give you a view, overall view, how you can use the fire extinguisher, fire hiring system, sorry. Okay, I hope this small animation give you a very detailed or maybe a brief, understanding to operate the fire hydrant system. Now, as I told you, you have whenever you are just involving yourself into a firefighting, the thumb rules which you have to be followed. These are the thumb rules, or you can say points to remember. But basically, it's a thumb rules. Okay, so first thumb rule says that your safety is your priority. Whenever you are dealing with any situation, first of all, check yourself whether you are on the safer side or not. If you are on the safer side, then you can act accordingly. But when if you are not on a safer side, then definitely you have to save yourself and then act on that that situation. Second thing is cut off the electricity of that affected area. Whenever you are dealing with the firefighting or maybe involving yourself into firefighting, second thing you have to do is to cut off the electricity. Why you have to cut off the electricity of that affected area? Just because to nullify the electrocution, chances of electrocution. Otherwise, what will happen? You are involving yourself into firefighting and suddenly a wire melt down and you come in contact with it. So what will happen? You will be electrocuted. Okay, and there is no one to come to the rescue you, or maybe someone has to come to the rescue you. Okay, now third thumb rule says that you have to cover your face with a mask or your hanky or other thing. Why you have to cover your face? Just because to avoid to inhale more toxic gases or the fumes which is generated during the burning of the materials. Okay, basically it's a carbon monoxide. That is in particular ppm. It might be 55% ppm is quite enough. If you are taken inside your body, what will happen? You will become unconscious. Okay, and if the ppm become more, might be it stands to that. To avoid that condition, you have to cover your face with a mask or other thing. Always give priority to human life. Okay, while dealing with the firefighting, you see that in such a scenario, you find a human body which is unconscious laying on the ground and it is surrounded with the fire. Then you have to take the human away from that thing. You have to give the priority to the human life. Then you have to start the firefighting. Or If you are having a sensitive material nearby, you have to take away the sensitive material. Okay. Then the records or file are other important documents. So fourth, fifth, and sixth priorities, it's interchangeable. If you see, if a human is there, you have to give priority to the human. If there is no human, but the sensitive material is there, then definitely you have to take out the sensitive material. And if you see, okay, there is no such a sensitive material or the human life is there, then definitely you have to go to take out your records or the importance document which is required for the thing, further thing you can take it away. But you should always ensure that whenever or whatever you are just doing, your safety always matter. Okay. Eighth thing, whenever you are just using the fire hydrant system inside the building, always strike the jet of the fire, jet of that hydrant system or that water on the roof, on the wall. Do not allow the direct jet to be used on that thing. Might be sometimes what will happen, if the sensitive material is there, it will be fell down just because of that jet, and it will create more hazard. So to avoid such a condition, always try to strike that jet on the roof. So it will be, give a sprinkler type of thing. Water will just sprinkler just like a rain, and it will just cover the maximum area. Okay. So before ending, I just want to just give some more tips while you are at work, and while you are just working at working place. So simply whenever you are in your home, always try to identify the potential hazards or the material which are just near to the electricity. For example, you are just keeping your mobile phone on the bag. So this is not a good habit. Whenever you are charging your phone, you always keep, just make a dedicated place along with that switchboard. So you always keep your mobile phones on that socket and keep your mobile phone there. If something has happened, so you will away from the away from that explosion, or maybe if fire catches, you can easily extinguish that fire. Okay. Secondly, do not allow yourself to to use or to play in a kitchen. Okay. Most of the time, it's I have seen that the kids are just playing in the kitchen, so it's also giving a risk uh, to the material, or maybe the work whomsoever is just working in the kitchen. It's also, I have also seen we are just overloading the electric switches. Okay. So please do not overload the electrical switches by providing the 3 pin or maybe the 2 pin or the extension. If it is made up, it is giving up a specific rating to use that electrical switches. So always try to use that appropriate one. Do not overload the electric switches. If it catches the fire, simply cut off the electricity. And there are so many things which can be used to extinguish the fire available at home. For example, just if your sofa catches the fire, simply you just cut off the electricity of your home, wait your bed sheet, and just cover the sofa with it, so it also acts as a blanketing and it will extinguish the fire. Okay. So be kind, be responsive, be safe. Thank you. So over here, my presentation is over. I'm open to answer your questions, if any.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Rishikesh, for this enlightening session. And first of all, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to you for your invaluable contribution to the success of this exclusive fortnightly session on Fire Safety 101, essential tip for students. And thank you so much for your time, wisdom, and passion in contributing to the success of this workshop. And we really look forward to a possibility of collaborating with you again in the future.
Definitely, definitely. My doors are
And
open to you. Whenever you require my help, definitely I'll come to you. Okay.
thank you.
And I hope this presentation give and not so much, but it's a rough idea how you can use
Absolutely.
the things, or how you can just overcome the situation. Okay. So, but I just want to add something. If you are having any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, you can directly contact me on my email ID. So I'll try to satisfy at my level best.
Sure. So I just like to say to students that, if you have any question, please turn on your videos and virtually raise your hand, and we'll connect you one by one, and you may directly ask your question to Mr. Rishikesh, or or if you're shy, you can write it in the chat box. I would recommend that you directly communicate, turn on your video and talk to Mr. Rishikesh directly. But still, we have another option. You can write your question in the chat. No one for the video?
Okay, don't be
Okay.
hesitate. Don't be hesitate.
There are many questions in the chat. I just want them, to interact directly.
Yeah, children having always curiosity.
Right. So okay, I'll just say one or two questions from the chat, and I think we can end the session. And this whoever is remaining, they can from the chat. There are many questions. So if yeah, okay, we have one student, and if your question isn't answered, even from the chat or from the video, you can directly mail to us or to Mr. Rishikesh directly, and whenever we get time, we'll help you with the answers. Or what we can do is I can collect the questions and I can share them with you together, and in a compiled form, we can answer them together.
No, no
I'll
issues,
just
no
write
issues.
my email ID in the chat box. So yes. So we have one first question from Suman S. Iyer. Please, can you unmute yourself and ask your question? Suman?
Good evening, Rishikesh sir.
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I got a chance to meet you, remember, on when we came to visit to Gujarat.
Okay,
I'm from BK Birla Public School, teacher.
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I met
Understand. Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I saw
I
you.
remember you.
I saw your session fully. In live. So I
Yeah, yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
actually, the problem is what, no, Rishikesh sir. Today the school got over at 3:10. So
Okay,
students may be reaching late because I had passed on to all my 11th and 12th standard, and especially 9th and 10th. But they had, I think so, they must have reached late. So they were, I mean, I don't know. Therefore, they couldn't join. The problem
okay,
was that today was a working day, and
okay,
we have school till 3:10, and the children, they reach most probably by 4:15 to home. So
okay,
that was the reason they couldn't. But I had, because it was a very nice session. So I wanted all my students to see that, especially 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th.
okay.
So
No
that was the
problem.
reason.
If you say we will just conduct another session for your students, if
Yeah,
Ankit,
definitely, definitely, sir. I will definitely tell, because
Sure, we can
it
work
was a
on it.
very
We
good
can.
session. Huh.
or
Definitely,
otherwise
sir.
I can
Thank you
just
so
share
much.
my presentation with the Aniket, so he will just circulate to everyone.
Yes, I'll share it with everyone.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do, Aniket, I'll do one thing more. I just find, something more interesting on the internet from, from sites, from different sites, and I just make some data, and I'll just circulate with you. Okay, so I'll just send it to
Sure.
you, and you can circulate to it. Just because there are so many training programs are available on the online. Okay,
Mhm.
so you can easily go through it, and you can just, manually you can read it, and you can just have an idea. Okay, but for the live demonstration, or you have to
Mm.
come, might be you can come to us, our organization, you are always welcome, or any other organization, they are just providing such a training, so you can just approach to it. One of my junior is doing that thing, so I'll just talk to her, and if she is agree, I'll just give forward your contact number to her, so he will just communicate to you in this regard.
Sure, sure, definitely. We'll get in touch and we'll let you know.
Fine.
And, we have one more question. I just think we just take one more question,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
this is
yeah,
from
sure.
Bindu. Please, can you ask your question, Bindu?
My doubt is that why can't carbon dioxide extinguishers be used to extinguish class A fire?
Just because it's not having a cooling effect. When you are going to use the carbon dioxide on class A, what will happen? the area which is covered by the carbon dioxide remain the extinguished, but whenever you are going to stop it, again it will catches the fire, just because the flush point is so much of high of that material, it will reignite the thing. So that's why the carbon dioxide is not suitable for a class A.
Thank you.
Fine.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you so much for your insightful questions. And like I said, if your question wasn't answered, or you, after this workshop, you can watch this video again. And if by chance you have any other question, you can still mail us. I have written my email address in the chat below, which is aniket@camp.org.in. You can write to me and I can connect you with Mr. Rishikesh. And I hope you have gained valuable insights into exploring into this field. And always remember that the journey to a successful career starts with curiosity and willingness to learn. Thank you once again to our esteemed speaker and all of you for participating. Have a great day ahead. And before we end this session, I would like to request you all to fill a quick survey form. This will help us understand your environment and guide us in serving you better. So I'll share the link in the chat below. And if you have any further question or need additional support, feel free to reach out at any of our social media handles or helpline numbers. We are here to assist you on your path to success. Thank you so much for your active participation and dedication to your personal and professional growth. Now we will end the session and we will all meet soon for another exciting session by CAMP. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Have a nice day.